We chant Katho Upanishad, Prathama Adhyaya, Dityavalli, Mantra 18 onwards. न जायते म्रियते वा विपश्चित् नायं कुतश्चित् न बभूव कश्चित् अजो नित्य शाश्वतोऽयं पुराण न हन्यते हन्यमाने शरीरे हन्तो चेत् मन्यते हन्तुं कश्चित् मन्यते हतम् उभो नो बिजानीता नायकुं हन्ति न हन्यते अनोरणीयान् महतो मह्यान् आत्मस्य जन्तो नीतो गुहायां समक्रतु पश्यति भीतशोकः धातु प्रसादात् महिमानम् आत्मनः मंत्र 21 सयानो याति सर्वतः कष्टं मदामेदं देवं मदन्यो ज्ञातुमर्हति मंत्र 22 अशरीरं शरीरेषु अवस्थेषु अवस्थितं महान्तं विभुमात्मानं मत्वा धीरो न शोचति. You note the sandhi vicheda that I'm doing, and by chanting you can do that. Asarirugum sariresu anavasthesu avasthitam mahantam vibhum atmanam matva dhiro na sojati. So we are studying Katha Upanishad. The whole of chapter 1 was dedicated to the introduction through the story. Right? Now, in the Dityavalli also, in the Prathamadhyaya, Dityavalli also, we are starting the actual Brahmajnana from Mantra 18. So you can see that it comes with a bang, and in the Mantra 18, now Jayate Mriyate Vakara. So this is a replica of Mantra Sloka number 220 of Bhagavad Gita. The intelligent person, the Jnani, knows that there is no birth, there is no death, there is no origination, nothing like that. There is birthless, eternal, undecaying, ancient. All that we study. Then he says, you cannot kill it, you cannot be killed. So all that, or you cannot make any modifications, because that is it cannot be changed. Okay. This is also a almost repetition of Bhagavad Gita chapter 2:19. Okay. Now you see, the mantra 20 is also beautiful, which is, you must remember this. Anoraniyan Mahato Mahyan. Atma Sajanto Bindito Guhaya. Atma is subtler than the subtlest, greater than the greatest, and Tamakratu Pasyati Bhita-soka. Once a man who is free from desires, Tamakratu, he understands the majesty of the self and becomes free from any sorrow. So this is also beautiful mantra. Now, last class we did another beautiful mantra. They are all, it makes us shiver. It's a very inner joy when you understand these mantras. And very nicely composed or Ashino Duram Rajati Sayano Yati Sarvada. So it will somebody will think that it's all riddle. How can it be possible? Huh? How can it be possible that while sitting it travels, while sleeping or lying down it goes everywhere? How can it be possible? So similar mantra has come now in the next mantra 22. But in this, I just wanted to add that whatever is mentioned in the mantra is actually factual. Only thing that you have to make the difference between the Sarira and the Atma. While sitting, who is sitting here? It is the Sarira. While traveling is the Atma. So these two sides you have to know. And we found the difference that Upanishad is saying that these two natures of Atma, one is the real factual nature, and the other is the superimposed. So the Atma, which is pure, all-pervading, all-knowing, goes everywhere, in proximity with the body, when it comes close contact with the body, mind, intellect, Atma acquires the temporary nature of the body. I've given you the example of how the sky becomes blue, how the ocean becomes also the color of the ocean also becomes the color of the sky. So that Atma, which cannot do anything, akarta avokta, which is asabdam asparsam, that also gets the upadhis of the body, mind, intellect. The difference you see, one is there is no upadhi, pure Atma or consciousness or Brahman, and there is one is the sopadhika Atma. Sa upadhika, sopadhika. That means upadhi sahita. Upadhi sahita, upadhi rahita. These two words you see. So when it is with upadhi, that means upadhi means what? Something I have told you very clearly what is the meaning of upadhi, and given a very good example of the crystal Shivji ka murti. Then you put a flower, red flower, the crystal will look like red. You put a blue flower, that will look like blue. So it is acquiring the color of the flower. Flower is different, that crystal is different. But it is acquiring the color of flower. The moment you take out the flower, the color is not there. Same way, the body also is like the upadhi, and the Atma is pure. You can see through, transparent everywhere. But in association with, in proximity of the body, it is acquiring all these attributes. So that my nature is an Ananda Swarupa, and Atma's nature is Ananda Swarupa. But when I identify myself with the body, mind, intellect, I become Dukkha Swarupa. Because I am taking the Dukkha, the kasta of the body. Right? The nature of the body, I am borrowing from the body. And I am telling I am suffering with the pain. So that is the difference. Sopadhika, Nirupadhika. With upadhi, without upadhi. With your grandchild, you sing, twinkle, twinkle, little star. Right? Where is the little star? Have you seen the star? The star is very big, isn't it? A great star, very far. But because we are seeing from far, it is looking small, isn't it? So that is a Sopadhika dharma of the star here. If you go close to the star, obviously it is huge. But when you are actually the star is uh, very big. So that is Nirupadhika dharma. And the small star is the Sopadhika dharma. And it is caused by what? Distance. So this difference has been caused by the distance. Same way, when the distance is so much, it is looking small. Same way, when the closeness is there between the pure star or pure Atma and the body mind intellect, the PMI complex, the proximity of these two, they're mostly, because the Atma is pervading in the whole body, because of the proximity of the body mind complex, I, the Atma, which has no connection with the BMI, there is no connection. The immortal Atma becomes mortal. Right? I, at the Atma, I'm immortal. I'll never die. But because I'm coming in contact with the body, I'm thinking that I'll body and I'll die and all that. So that immortal, that Atma, is becomes mortal. It is suffering. It becomes temporary, and it gets borrows all the sorrows. So we mistake. We mistake what? We miss the actual and take the apparent. The mistake is we miss the actual Atma we miss. But we take the apparent body. So this is a miss and take. Mistake. This is the actual problem with us. Thinking that we are the body, mind, intellect, instead of the Atma. Everything is hinging on this. All the studies of the Brahma Vidya, all the Atma Jnana, all the efforts for liberation, everything is hinging on this. Changing the idea, the custom that I am the Atma, not this body. That means your identification with the pure self is and distancing from the VMI is the true liberation. Change of jnana. I am deluded. I do not subscribe to the fact that I am the pure self. My true nature is hidden from me. Once I realize my true nature, that is what is the Atma Jnana. Knowing yourself is the Atma Jnana. So this is the way this Atma Jnana has been taught. Go to the next mantra. Something like this only. The whole, anywhere you study, any Upanishad you study, any Bhagavad Gita you study, anywhere, the same Atma Jnana, same Brahma Vidya, it will be totally a little different here and there. But once you understand this, then everything becomes very fine. For the people who are not, grounded on this true Vedantic facts that we have already learned, then it becomes difficult for them to understand. How can we be, Ashino Duram Rajati, Sayano Jati Sarvadam? How can it be possible? These are all bakwas. So we go to the next mantra of 22. Similar. What he says? O sarirugum sariresu anavasthesu avasthitam mahantam vivam atmanam mattva dhiro na sojati. Or sariragam. Or sarira means no sarira, without sarira, and bodiless, right? Then sariresu. Sariresu means saptami vibhakti. It becomes in the body, in the sarira. Anavasthesu means that which is perishable. The avastha is anavastha. It is not permanent avastha. It is perishable. It is modified. It can be modified. Anavastesu, impermanent, and anavastesu avasthitam. It is seated in that. Okay. Mahantam bhivam atmanam. Mahanta means great, supreme. Vibhum is all pervading. Vibhu means that which is all pervading. Atmanam. Matva dhira dhiro na sochati. Matva means by knowing it, by realizing it. Dhira is the wise person. Na sochati. That means he grieves not. Sochati means not thinking. He sochati is not grieving. दुख नहीं करता, grieve नहीं करता. So the meaning of this mantra is that the wise person, Dhira, who knows the Atman to be bodiless and it is sitting firmly on a perishable body, it is great and all pervading. So that wise man does not grieve. Because the wise man, it is being told from the perspective of a wise person, a jnani person. So he knows that Atman is asarira, there is no body in that. He knows that it is also attached to the body. And which body? That body which is perishable. And that Atma is, by real nature, it is great, it is all pervading, all knowing, and all that. So once he knows that Atma, nothing will happen to my Atma, me, my Atma, then he will not repent, he will not grieve, he will not be sorrowful, he will not be extra happy, nothing. He is always in merry. Okay. So again, we are coming to the same principle of two things: the real nature, the own nature of the Atma, and the other side of the ones who associate with the body. What is the nature of the Sopadika and Nirupadika nature? Okay. So the self in its own nature is everywhere. Consciousness is everywhere. Brahman is everywhere. So Atma's true nature is like the space, Akasavat. So in Akash, whatever happens, Akash is not involved. It is not involved, and it is not affected also. So if you suppose somebody puts a bomb in the sky is not bursting out. See, the bomb will burst, sky will not burst out. Somebody put some chemicals. The sky will not be affected by chemicals. Somebody, done some pataka. So sky will not get the sound. Sound will travel through it, but sky will not be affected by it. So all the changes that happens is not because it doesn't affect the sky or the space. Same way the Atma. Whatever happens to the body, nothing happens to the Atma. So when a person, a wise person, when he meditates on the self, Atma, so he meditates as what? See, normally what I told you, you meditate on the either on the Sopadika or Nirupadika. Okay. It is Saguna Sakara Bhagavan or Nirguna Nirakara Bhagavan. So when a wise person who meditates on the Nirguna Nirakara Bhagavan, so that that self, that Atma, there is no Sarira, isn't it? There is no body. That means that Atma is not embodied. There is no body to the Atma. Only when it is embodied, then it gets, um, it says that body, it is associated with the body. So the Atma can be also, that Atma can be also in the midst of many bodies. Same Atma is in me, in him, in her, everywhere, in all the bodies. It can be in the body of the gods. It can be in the body of the birds, or in the animals, or in the ants or snakes. Everywhere, everybody has got the Atma. But he knows that Atma is there, but it's not sitting there. Atma is everywhere. Yes, Sarita. But some people will see, when you think in terms of that body, you will think that as if Atma is sitting in my heart. Or Sariram, or Sariragum, Sariresu, in the heart. And which Sarira? That Sarira is his impermanent self. It's that Sarira which is anavastitam. That means it's perishable, is modifiable. The Sarira where Atma is sitting is not permanent. This body is impermanent, perishable. Why are you thinking of so much, so many years? With God's grace that we have lived so many years. But you see, the body is so perishable. Today, you are there, tomorrow somebody will die out, some friends will go, somebody's heart attack, you go, or your hands get some cut or something like that, will bleed. All the changes is taking place in the physical body. In the mind also changes taking place. In the intellect also changes taking place. But in amongst all the changes, and we are also becoming old day by day, isn't it? And will perish on one day. Knowing all that, Atma is also associated. It is seated. The asarira Atma is sitting in the sarira of the perishable body. The wise person knows this Atma is asarira. There is no body. But it is sitting avasthesu. It is sitting in the perishable body. And it is sitting there, and we are thinking that it is permanent. We are sitting that it is unchanging. Because we think that this is permanent. You will never die. Nobody thinks that he will die. So after he meditates, a person who is meditating on Atma like this, he thinks that Atma is great. Atma is Mahantam. It is, but this Mahantam means it can be also very big, or it can be also relative Mahantam. Greatness or bigness is relative. But it is known that the Atma is all pervasive. The self. When we utilize the Atma in reference to the body, you use the word Atma in reference to the body, it is individual. Normally, the Atma, we say it is individual Atma, because it is referring in relation to one person. Okay? Associated with one body. It is also associated with all bodies, and is also there in everywhere. But that we say Paramatma. Here we say Atma. Atma related or associated with this body. And this Atma we say indwelling Atma. The Atma which is living in our own body. This is what we say. But the pure consciousness living in this body is the Atma. But the the wise person who knows this is the status, he'll know what happens. Nothing will happen to me. I, the Atma, am. There is no janma, there is no mrityu. So why there should be dukkha, kashta? Kuch nahi rahega. I am the. I'll never cry. I'll never repent. I'll never feel bad. I will not have no sorrow. Huh? So he doesn't grieve for whatever happens to the body because he knows he is the Atma and he is not having any changes like the body having changes. Okay, so now let's go for the Hasya. Right? You see this on the left hand side?
Yes.
Okay. And on the left hand side down, you see the bold letters. That is the Bhasya. Asariram Svena Rupena Akasa Kalpa Atma. So that Asariram is that Atma by its own nature, Svena nature, that means Swarupa, say, it is without any body. How? Akasa Kalpa. Akash ke saman, like the same space, Atma is without body and so it is called Asariram. Then Atma Tamasariram Sariresu. Tamasariram. That means in the body, Sariresu means in the body of all the tamas of the, is giving the descriptions. Deva, Prityu, Pitru, Manusya, Adi Sariresu. When it is giving all in all the bodies, Atma is present in all the bodies. It is meaning the description is giving is Deva, all the Devatas bodies also, the Atma is there. All the Pitru Loka, jitna hamara Purva Purusha hai, all these in their bodies also, all the all dead people, all Pitru Purusha jo hai, or in their bodies also there. Then present Manusya Adi, that also you can include all the animals and birds and everybody, Adi Sariras. In all the Sariras, it is present. Sariresu, Anavasthesu, Avasthiti, Rahite, Su, Avasthitam, Nityam, Avikrutam, Iti, etc. So it is here, it is to be firmly seated in things that are perishable. Anuvasthesu means they are perishable. That the Atma cannot be susceptible to change or modifications in these perishable things. Which perishable means they are not permanent. And it says Mahantam. Mahantam means Mahatvasya api apekshika to apekshikatva sankayam aha bibhu. So he says Mahantam. Mahantam means what? Great or big. Okay. So somebody will think that how big, you cannot know. Okay. Big is very relative things. So once I says Mahantam, to describe that or to remove your doubts that how big, it is saying Vibhu. Vibhu means all pervading. Okay. To avoid the word great to be understood as a relative sense. So he is saying Vibhu. Asanka. Apekshikatvam asankam aha. तो आशंका जिसका होता है If you have a doubt, then to remove the doubt, he's saying Vibhu. Vibhu means Vyapinam Atmanam. That Atma which is
Sound is
Vyapak.
not coming.
Huh? Sound is there or not? Anybody else?
I can hear. I can hear.
So whoever is
Yeah.
okay. So sound is coming. You check your own instrument. Why sound is not coming?
Oh, good, good. Very good.
Okay. So what I was telling, this first he said Mahantam. Mahantam means big or great. So that big is a relative term. So to remove the doubt that is relatively how big or not, so he says Vibhum. Vibhum means Vyapinam, Atmanam. That means Atma is very, very all pervading, everywhere is there. So there is nothing called big or small, it is everywhere. Atma Grahanam Swato Anyatva Pradarsanartham Atma Sabda. So it said this expression Atman is used to show that it is not distinct from Brahman. That Pratyak Atma means inner self. That self is that Pratyak Atma, inner self. Okay. That Atma indicates inner self. Then once you know Evam Mukhyata Idrusam Atmanam Mattva. Once you know that Atma is like this, when it's associated with the body, it is Atma, and it is a Pratyak Atma, means that Atma in the inner self. This Atma, Mattva, by knowing it, by realizing this, Ayam, Aham Iti. So what you know, what you realize, Ayam, Aham Iti. This Atma is me. Aham Iti means it is me alone. Dhiro Dhimatra Sochati. Dhiman na Sochati. Dhiro means wise person. The next word is Dhiman. Dhiman na Sochati. This word Dhiman and na is written as Dhimarna. Dhiman na Sochati. The Dhira means Dhiman. Dhiman means the wise person, the intelligent person. Na Sochati means doesn't grieve. So why doesn't grieve? Nahi Evam Vida Satma Vida Sokam Upapatti. Okay. He doesn't grieve. Having known the self of this nature, that I am this, the intelligent one does not grieve. That is, grief doesn't belong to such a person of the self. Once he knows that I am this self, I am the Atma, so grief cannot belong to him. Soka Upapatti. That means उसके पास शोक आता ही नहीं है, आत्मा के पास शोक नहीं है. Okay, so this is the Bhashya. Okay, so we go back. So we are talking of this Atma, who has body, who doesn't have body. These are all very contradictory terms. That time it was sitting and going. Now it is having no body and body. All these contradictory things. So this Atma is also, it is saying that it is present in us as the inner self. Pratyak Atma, it means inner self. Andar ka Atma, mera Atma bolta hai, means Pratyak Atma. So this Atma, in everybody, it is the Sakshi Chaitanya. Sakshi Chaitanya means consciousness witness. Consciousness witness, Sakshi Chaitanya, witness consciousness. Okay. But where it is sitting, in which body it is sitting? It is sitting in the very unstable, impermanent body. Atma is stable all the time, present everywhere, but it is sitting in the unstable, impermanent body. But is Atma stable or not? Atma is avasthitam. That means it is sitting. It is well seated in the body, which is changing, which is modifying, which is perishing. The body, mind, intellect, all these equipments are changing, perishing all the time. But the imperishable Atma is sitting in that body. Okay. So in the midst of this perishable body, mind, intellect, the modifying body, mind, intellect, the changing body, mind, intellect, the imperishable, the unchanging Atma remains steadfast. It is standing firm all the time. It is there. It is like a lighthouse in the sea. A lot of waves come and go. It drops. There's a tides come and go, but the lighthouse stands firm. Same way, the Atma all the time it is present. So the immortal Atma is in the mortal body. The unchanging Atma, changeless Atma in the changing body. The imperishable, undecayable Atma in the perishing body. So we understand. Now, see, intellectually now we understand. The body is different, the Atma is different. You understand now? Yes or no? You understand the body is different, the
Yes.
Atma is different. You understand that. So what we should do? We should dissociate ourselves from this complex of body, mind, intellect complex and associate with the true self. What is my true self? That Atma. Associate means what? So whenever you are expressing yourself, I am doing this, I am doing that, or I am reading or sitting down, all the time you think that I is the Atma is doing that. So the word Atma should replace that word I. Then only, when slowly that if you do the practice, you will come to know that I am not changing. I am all the time there. Whatever dukkha, kashta comes, that is for the body, not for me. But the thing you'll see, in fact, once we know that I am imperishable, I am not changing, nothing is happening to me, but it happens to the body, then nothing wrong in knowing that body is perishable. Body is perishable, all of us agree. It will modify, it will decay. So that mortality of the body, knowing that, there is nothing wrong. So once the Atma, knows that the body is the mortal, decaying, perishing, accept it. Yes, I am immortal, but the body is immortal. Accept this. And then continue your journey, whatever happens. Because let us agree that without the body, you cannot express, you cannot perform. The Atma is useless for me. I, the Atma, is useless if I don't have a body. I cannot express. I cannot transact business with you. I cannot study, I cannot sit, I cannot sleep, I cannot eat, I cannot do anything because the body is not there. Body is the instrument for expression of the Atma. Body is very essential. Right? So this is the way that we should accept this togetherness or separateness of the Atma and the body. Body is very, very required, and knowing that body is perishable is accept it as it is, but at the same time you know that I am not the body, I am the Asarira Atma. So you know that I am the Atma, that is Sarira Sanga Rahita. I am not attached to the Sanga Rahita means attachment. I am not attached to the body. I am separate. I am Sarira Sanga Rahita without the attachment to the body. For example, suppose you are studying here. You are sitting in a room. You are studying, right? And the room has space. The space is there. You are sitting. The light is there. Everything is there. When you are sitting there, is the space affected? You can sit. You are there. Okay, you can sit. Suppose you finish your study and get out of the room. That room changes over. The room, the space remains the same. It is unaffected. Same way, Atma continues to be there. One body has come, you become so and so. Another body comes, you become so and so. Atma is unaffected. Because of presence of yours, the space doesn't become dirty or smelly. The smell and thing belongs to some other bhutam, not to space. Similarly, the Atma which is asariram, that is without the attachment to the body, it is like the space only. Akasabat, that means like the space. That Atma is also, we can say, Prakasavat. Prakash means what? Light, like the sunlight. Sunlight is also illuminating everybody. You are there or not there. Objects are there or not there. Sunlight is always there. Your presence or no presence doesn't matter to the sunlight. So the Atma is a Nirupadika Swarupa, without Upadhi. Same topic, Upadhi I told you. Upadhi, Nirupadika Swarupa. This is the Sakshi Chaitanya, the witness consciousness. It is not limited by the presence of the body. Same Atma is present in a human being or in a cockroach. Same Atma is present in the human body or outside the body also. There is no other body also it is there. In the space also it is there. In the total universe also it is there. So that's why it is being said, it is Mahantam, it is great. But the greatness or bigness is a relative term. How it is? That means suppose you say brick. How big is it? If you are saying it's a, suppose you say a dog, a big dog. So you think that big dog is maybe 3-4 feet tall and all that. Or small dog will be like a Pomerian, right? But when you say a big ant, so it will be like in inches, no? The big ant will become like this. The small ant will be not visible. So the big or small is depending on what you are describing. Suppose you say big planet is a Brihaspati is a big planet. Buddha is a small planet. So the big is not actually describing much. It is only giving a relative term. A relative means apexika. So that's why when the Mahantam hears the Upanishad said Mahantam, so straight away then he is clarifying the doubt. It is how Mahantam, how big it is. So he is saying Vibhu. Vibhu means all pervading, infinitely big. Here there is no boundary, there is no limitations to the all pervading Vibhu. Okay. So when the Jivatma, it has a limitation because it is a Sopadika Dharma. इसका सोपाधिका धर्म, the Jivatma is associated with the Jiva, so it is limited. When it is limited, we pray to the Bhagavan. Oh Bhagavan, I am your dasa. He says dasoham. We say dasoham. I am your dasa. I am your servant. I serve you. Isn't it? But when you think of the original nature of that Atma, then you say soham. I am that. See the difference, no? Dasoham and soham. When you are Upadishaita body, you associate with the body, I am the servant, then you say, I am serving you. Bhagavan, I am serving you. But when you are saying that Nirupadika, I am the Atma, then the Atma and the Paramatma, they are one. So it says Soham. So that's why some paramparas, they chant Soham. And some parampara, they say Dasoham. Okay? So this is what is the, as long as your dharma is apparent, then you will say there's Sopadika dharma, then you are Dasoham, Nirupadika dharma, you will say Soham. It's like from the twinkle, twinkle, little star, then you realize that no, I am the big star. So how do you, then what do you get out of this? Okay, you are Atma, all that, what happens? Normally, you see, we associate ourselves in a triangular format. That means I am the Jiva, outside everything else, and including all the people and the Jagat, there is a world is there, that is a Jagat, and there is a Ishvara who is controlling it. Jiva, Jagat, Ishvara. So when I consider like that, Bhagavan, I pray. So you do the Upasana. So all that Upasana do, all the time, you understand that Bhagavan is separate, I am separate, and the world is also separate. It's like a triangle. So in that state, you are Sopadika Dharma. You are associating with yourself as the body, and you are associating Bhagavan also with a body. And you are saying, Shankar Chakra Gada Padma Hasti Bhagavan or Venu Murari. So you are separating as an individual. So it's a Sopadika Dharma. But when you become Nirupadika Dharma, that means you are not the physical body, but you are the. So Bhagavan gives us experience according to your evolution of thought, evolution of in your spiritual field. You experience according to that status. How much you are evolved, how much you are able to know, how much you are able to realize, how much you are able to have your sadhana chatushtaya, how much value you are able to bring into yourself. What is the thought process? Then only you can dissociate from the body and associate with the Atma. It's very difficult, but it's possible. Anybody else? See, what happens is, in our tradition, we give a lot of importance to karma. So karma, you can do yourself, or you have to do yourself. So that karma gives you karma phala, papa punya. Then that papa punya decides what you will be a bhagya. At the same time, there is also the God's grace. So that willpower and intellect decides your self-effort, what you can do yourself. Atmane uddharati atman. You can only do uddhar of yourself. But at the same time, God's grace is required. You cannot do everything, but God's grace is required. So you have to make the circumstances such that Bhagwan's grace is available to you. You can only do 20-25%. Otherwise, everything else will depend on him. The grace is flowing. You know, Sri Ramakrishna says, there's a beautiful anecdote by him, that when you are traveling by a boat, those days the sailing boats were there, you travel by boat. So you trim your sails in such a way that you catch the wind and the boat goes ahead. Right? So he says, the wind is there all the time. But it is you have to trim the sails so that you catch the wind and go. The Bhagwan's grace is like that, all the time it is forwarding for everybody. So you have to make effort to catch the grace, to be, how you will be eligible to get the grace and go forward. In karma theory, there are two things. One is the self-effort and another is the destiny. So both have to go together. Destiny is made by your self-effort today. Tomorrow's destiny is today's self-effort becomes tomorrow's destiny. Yesterday's self-effort has become today's actual happening. So you have to persevere. That self-effort has to be there. At the same time, God's grace you have to get. How you get is by all these sadhanas that we are doing, by that. So, but in this mantra, what you are saying is you cannot jump from Sopadika to Nirupadika without going through the process of the mental cleansing, purity of the mind. Karma is most important. That karta, karma, karma phala, papa, punya is all good. But you have to raise from this Sopadika, a triangular format, and claim that I am that Paramatma. Unknowingly, we come down from, our Swarupa is that Paramatma, Swarupa is that Nirupadika Dharma. But unknowingly, we degrade ourselves to come to this level when we attach ourselves to the body and say that I am the body. But it is our effort that can take you forward, sail you. By trimming ourselves, we can catch the wind and move forward and claim that I am that Nirupadika Atma, that pure self, Soham. That I am. That stands for Tat, that. That stands for Paramatma, the consciousness. I am that. See, as I told you, I is the Asariratma, I is the pure consciousness. But that I, the all-pervading consciousness or Atma, cannot express, cannot interact without the body.
Yeah.
The body
So
is
whatever you
important.
do, Atmane udharati Atman, that means you have to use that body, mind, intellect, and then only where that background, the Atma is there, consciousness is there, but you have to use this body, mind, intellect to go beyond this. So you have to always put forward what you are in the Vyavaharika or in the Paramarthika Satya. Asatya, Vyavaharika Satya, you cannot work or interact or do dealings without the Paramarthika Satya also. You understand that Aham Brahmasmi, but you work in the Paramarthika Vyavaharika world. Both have to go together. You know that the sun is not rising or setting, is fixed, but you have to accept that the sun is rising and setting in the Vyavaharika world. So then you don't have to find which talking or who is doing, all that is not required. All the time, everything is happening because of that pure self. But that pure self requires this physical body, mind, intellect, all the equipments. Otherwise, you cannot express, you cannot do anything. To go beyond this bondage of the body, you require that body itself, and also you require the grace of the pure Atma also. So it all the time at the back of the mind, you will know that I am the pure Atma. But physically, you act with the help of the body only. That's why it is very well recommended that you have to keep your physical body fit. You have to, without that, if you are suffering physically, then you cannot do any sadhana in terms of whatever sadhana we are doing, forget about sitting in Padmasana and doing, कुछ नहीं कर सकता है. Physical body has to be in a good condition. So that's why they say that you start your sadhana early age so that you are time to do abhyasa and get some better.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Have a nice weekend. See you on Monday.